We're here with Octavio Parga. He's the president of Cañete Occidente, and we wanted to get a better understanding of Cañete's role in stimulating the services and export industries of Mexico. So, Octavio, can you tell us a little bit more about the export growth out of Jalisco and some of the good things that are happening here?
Yeah, as I mentioned, our industry, and let me call it or define the high-tech industry in Jalisco and in Occidente, it's a booming industry, and we have 5 major areas that we have been developing over the last, I will say, the industry has 40 years, but I count as the last 10 years as the booming of the industry. So let me define manufacturing, software, services, design, and multimedia as the areas that we are trying to really promote and grow. So in 2010, this industry exported $17.5 billion in all these different sectors, and that represents 65% of the exports of the state. And this $17.5 billion represents about 30% of the exports of this industry at the Mexico level or national level. So yeah, it is a really important industry for us, and we have created the necessary infrastructure like Cañete that supports the growing and the promotion of the industry.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what are your goals over the next 2 to 3 years? In what ways are you trying to get more visibility outside of Mexico to attract investment from other markets?
Well, number one is the goal that we have is today we have 85,000 people working on the industry in Jalisco. So our goals for 2012 is to grow this industry to 100,000 people, and also to grow the exports to $20 billion of operation. So that's about 8%, 10% growth on a yearly basis, and we believe that we have the opportunity and the projects to make it happen. So part of the things that we're doing is, for example, I already described the 5 key areas, but we are also investing on new strategic areas. So we are trying to promote aerospace. If we are already a sector that has had high content of electronic and manufacturing and software, then we are now putting that into perspective for the aerospace area. So we're trying to bring companies on the aerospace sector, same case on the automobile sector, on health and caring. Jalisco is also very important in terms of hospital, pharmaceutical operations, manufacturing of pharmaceutical, and we have the technology. So we are now merging both and create a strategic sector on the health and technology. Also, the multimedia is growing into animation, movies, video games, and that's also another strategic area that we're trying to grow in everything that has to do with the creative arts, but now combining the technology and the artists. So we're now having companies, niche companies, that are starting to make video games. We have companies that are already doing video games for Nintendo and for PlayStation, that are doing movies, animated movies, and we're trying to get the links with clusters, other clusters like the Hollywood cluster or the software cluster in Quebec, in order to grow this strategic sector. So these are examples of what else we are doing. From a global point of view, we were talking about the Mexico IT and Mexico First programs. So the Mexico First program, it's a program that is created at the national level in order to get the right skills that we need and invest on people, on education, on certification on our teams, very specific for the IT industry. And the Mexico IT, it's a program that promotes Mexico so that all these capabilities that we have in place are being used for other countries. And maybe I need to talk about some of the global positioning. And I don't know if you know this, but there is a global organization that is called WITSA.
Sure.
And so WITSA, I think there are about 80 countries, 79 to 80 countries that are part of this WITSA organization that is, if not the most important, one of the most important organizations at the global level on the IT sector. So Cañete is becoming a member of that for a couple of years, and we just won for Mexico the GPPS and the WCIT. The GPPS is the Global Public Policy Summit, and that's the most important event where the public policies are being discussed on the leaders of the governments, leaders of the industries, and leaders of the academia in order to create, let me call it, the rules for the use of internet and the use of the TICs. And that event is going to happen in Guadalajara in November this year.
Wow.
And then the WCIT is the World Congress of Information Technology, the most important event with 3,000 people. This is a 3,000 people event. And participation of every corner of the globe. And we just won that one for Guadalajara in Mexico in 2014.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So this is part of the things that we're doing to promote our global image and global presence. Because I tell you, we have $17.5 billion here just in Jalisco, but probably not a lot of people knows that. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to promote the skill, the reputation, the good quality of the products, the management system, the high-level executives that we have in Jalisco and in Mexico in order to bring more players or to serve another market.
Fantastic. Well, one last question. Can you give me a sense of the cost of doing business in Guadalajara? You've got a lot of new companies coming into town. Is there any inflation or competition for labor? What are some of what's the picture like right now for the cost to generate?
Well, my first reaction is we're very competitive. Because when you put together the end-to-end factors of the cultural factor, the time zone difference, the flying expenses that you need in order to go and supervise a software product or a hardware product in the other area like Asia or China or probably some of the India if you're talking IT, I think we are very competitive. It is true that some of the labor, especially the labor that is probably not high qualified, like the operators, it is cheaper in China, or it is cheaper in India, right? And we're not trying to compete with that. I think we're trying to compete with the right type of product and increasing our value add. So if you're talking manufacture, our niches are high complexity products with very quick turnaround. We have companies here in Mexico that you receive an order today from the US. We produce the product, deliver at night to UPS or FedEx, and it's being delivered to the customer in US tomorrow. So that's a 24-hour turnaround. Nobody can do that. We're doing that here, right? If you have products in China or have products in India or have products in the other side of the country, you cannot do that. So the flexibility of the cycle times and the optimum serviceability, it's a key ingredient and value add that we have been developing in our manufacturing companies. If you talk about software, well, then now the salaries and the type of quality of the people that you need is more prepared. Mm-hmm. So the skill is higher. And even from an engineering point of view, it's probably true that it is cheaper in India. But here you have the same type of environment, the same atmosphere, in the same cultural zone, in the same cultural area, and in the same time zone. Mm-hmm. And it is easier. I mean, you just get a plane in the morning at 8 o'clock and I'm here in Guadalajara at 10 o'clock. And then you have the whole day and you can go back tomorrow and you does not disrupt your activities, right? And we have a well-educated people that has certification in things like program management or companies on CMME levels 3 and 4, and all the different types of certifications that we need in order to make a reliable software product. And so when you look, I think that when you look, and we have seen that in companies, when they look at the end-to-end cost, Jalisco is very competitive, and that's why we're promoting Jalisco. So if you look for cheap labor, yeah, there are going to be other countries that has cheaper labor. But if you look for end-to-end quality, reliable products, and customer satisfaction, then we're your choice.
All right, very good. Well, Octavio, I wish you the best, and we'll check in on you in the future.
I hope so.
Thank you very much.
No, thanks for being here.